Do you know what showed up today? My teeny beanie babies.
Nice.
Beanie Bucks.
Yeah. They're in their bags. They're in the mailbox right now.
Oh, wow.
Cats, stop.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew. Over there is Brandon.
That's me.
And I'm Kayla.
Oh, and Kayla. Oh, no, she said it too early. Anyway, no, it's fine. You can find the three of us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. You can also watch this show on YouTube every Monday or whatever day it comes out when there's specials at namely90s.com/YouTube. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s and show your support. Thank you. Well, as you've heard, it's a different episode today. We have my wife, Kayla, joining us. And
hello.
Hi, Kayla.
Yeah. It's our first time, I think, having a guest on our regular formatted show.
And I'm so excited. I love the regular format.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun because technically our Halloween specials are in the numbered episodes,
okay.
But
true.
But still, it wasn't. We've only had one guest on for that. But this is, as you're correct in saying, this is the first time we've brought someone on for a regular format show. Although it depends if we get to 3 topics today or just stick with one, because Kayla specifically is here to talk about Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
But first we have the regular stuff, like what was going on in December of 1996.
Yeah.
You may have heard it on November's episode for 1996 that we're doing Jingle All the Way this month. So,
Take us back, Brandon.
Whoa, slow down, lady. So how are things? Well, actually, this is important too, because this episode is our normal Monday episode, but it kicks off effectively our 12 days of Christmas specials, or what I like to call the baker's dozen of Christmas specials, because we get to have a regular episode, a great guest, talk about a great or horrible holiday movie, and then have 12 consecutive episodes following.
Yes, that's because the 12 Days of Christmas specials starts tomorrow, Tuesday, December 21st, running from the 21st through the 1st. Each day there will be an episode dropping from us with a podcast guest on to talk about, same as last year, Christmas or holiday special episodes of TV from the 90s. And man, it was an interesting run this year. We've got a bunch of shows Andrew really liked that no one's ever heard of.
Okay, The Pretender, come on.
I actually have a fun tidbit about The Pretender
it's on
today.
NBC by The Profiler.
We have a bunch of episodes that I picked because as retaliation for Andrew picking episodes that no one would watch. True. Yeah, it's turned out real fun. So we hope you stick around and enjoy us during the holidays while your other podcasts are taking a well-deserved rest. No rest for us, apparently.
Yeah.
But today's special size Jingle All the Way Kayla visiting episode, like Andrew said, kicks it off because we're getting the holiday spirit. You can see our episode icon has Andrew dressed up as Santa and me in the Christmas sweater that I'm not wearing for some reason. And Kayla, hi. Welcome back to Namely 90s.
Would you say it's a Schwarzenegger sized episode?
Ooh, yeah, he was quite large in the entire
so large.
episode.
I would like to terminate this movie.
Wah, wah.
But if this is a regular episode, this is our chit chat time. How have you been since in the last year since we saw you last on Namely 90s?
Well, it's been a good year. Lots of fun things around, and we made some really good friends in our neighborhood. So that's awesome. Andrew got kicked out of the house and he now lives in the sex dungeon.
Podshed? You mean, yeah.
Yeah. What the neighbors refer to as the sex dungeon.
Where I store my Thrustmaster 16,000. That's the important thing.
He wants to call it the cockpit.
That's my special joystick.
I cannot deal with the cockpit.
Well,
I hate it.
People call it man cave, and and I also do flight simming.
You call it simming? Oh,
it's
simming it up.
I mean, it's not
this
like
is why he's been kicked. He's been kicked out. He's no longer allowed in the house.
I don't know if we talked about that on the show, but yeah, when the electrician was here to wire up the shed, he asked, "What is this? Some kind of a sex dungeon or something?"
I had no idea he said that. And so later that day, I was out there conversing with him and offering him glasses of water because it was 100 degrees out. And here it is. He's working in what he perceives to be the sex dungeon in our backyard.
But the funny thing is, like,
he's inspecting the glass to make sure there's nothing in there.
Recording a podcast and playing Flight Simulator are not activities that generally lead to sex. Just saying.
And neither is fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
Just going to say.
Well, I mean, maybe it confused him because there is a tripod set up in here, but.
Yikes.
And, the swing that's just off camera is actually just a regular swing, not a sex one. But, people don't know the difference when they've never actually been into a sex dungeon.
Now people are like, hey, is Andrew in the sex dungeon? It's like, oh, boy.
Our neighbors do ask that. It's epic.
You should put a red light out there.
If this shed's a rockin'.
That he has to turn on when he's in there.
Don't come and knockin'. It's a solo sex dungeon.
Oh, God.
I might get some handcuffs and just hang them from the corner.
Some fuzzy handcuffs. They have to be fuzzy. It makes it funnier. I don't know. For comfort. Anyway. Hey.
They're furry for your enjoyment. For your pleasure, I guess. For your pleasure.
Yeah. Ribbed handcuffs for her pleasure.
What is the ribbing on the handcuffs doing?
Yikes.
Just a little extra chafing.
This took a turn.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Well, shall we travel back to December 1996?
Let's do it.
All right, so listeners, travel back with me, if you will, to December 1996. On the 1st, Wayne Gretzky becomes the first and only player in NHL history, probably at the time, to hit 3,000 points. I didn't bother to see if anyone else has.
I wouldn't fact check that.
Yeah. He's the great one.
It's true.
Why would I? Yeah. Why would I fact check it further? This just in, Andrew says that he did not hit 3,000 points according to NHL.com. I'm going to say NHL.com's a liar. Whereas my random website with facts, definitely not. On the 3rd, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire is released for the Nintendo 64. That was part of that whole multimedia thing for Star Wars, where it was like a Han Solo clone guy, Dash Rendar, was trying to save Han Solo from Boba Fett before he got the Jabba the Hutt. Spoilers, he's not successful. On the 11th, Haley Steinfeld is born. She's Andrew. Do you know who Haley Steinfeld is?
Isn't she that one musician lady?
She does sing.
Oh,
so
I'm thinking of someone else, though. I think
you definitely
Greg
are.
is coughing somewhere.
Would you like to go find him?
Gross. Haley Steinfeld. She's a singer.
She is a singer.
I thought so.
But she's also an actress and is currently killing it as Kate Bishop in the Disney Plus Hawkeye series, and she's also on some other popular series right now that I don't know. Didn't bother to write down. Wasn't she a Disney Channel actress at one point?
Let's check NHL.com.
That sounds right, but right? I couldn't tell you for sure.
No idea. But Hawkeye, check out Hawkeye. Season finale last week, I don't know. On the 14th, this week. On the 14th, Mario Kart 64 is released in Japan.
which means it was released in January of 97 in the US?
Probably.
Yeah. We've come to realize that.
Possibly later. On the 18th, Oakland, California. Sorry. I'll try that again. On the 18th, Oakland, California School Board passes a resolution officially declaring Ebonics as a language or dialect.
Oh, no.
Yep. 90s. Oakland.
Oh, more to come on
old-time AAVE.
jokes like that.
Gentrification.
In the Jingle All the Way discussion.
On the 26th, John Benet Ramsey is found beaten and strangled in the basement of her family home in Colorado.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's not upbeat.
Why are you laughing?
Because this is the way you're like, Mario Kart 64. John Benet Ramsey is found beaten and strangled. Oh, my God. That just
sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
That captivated a nation.
It really did.
And then we go back up. We ride the roller coaster back up for the next one.
On the 28th, The Adventures of Pete and Pete air their final episode.
Oh, and then the roller coaster goes back down.
Yes.
I'm just going to make a quick statement.
Yes.
You can't see this, but all 5 cats have swarmed around my ring light. And they're like sniffing around and they're like knocking things over. It's a little crazy here just now.
They also want to be on the podcast, apparently.
Live updates from
they're circling like
Casa
sharks.
de Rocco.
They also need food.
Yeah.
In the box office, January 1996. On the 13th, we have Jerry Maguire and Mars Attacks.
January or December?
December.
1996.
Just checking.
What did I say?
You said January and I thought,
December
Maybe
1996. Jerry Maguire and Mars Attacks on the 13th. On the
give me the money.
Show me
the money.
Show me the money.
Give me the money.
I get quotes wrong, guys.
Show me the money.
But I do it with confidence.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's important. No one would question it.
No one would question it.
Exactly.
On the 20th, Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh, no.
And Scream. Scream, the first
I've never
Scream.
seen any of the Scream movies.
I think I've seen the 4th one, which
I'd probably moderately enjoy it.
Hate.
Well, the first one, Drew Barrymore's in it, and Monica from Friends is in it, and her husband's in it, or ex-husband.
Yes.
Anyway,
Courtney Cox, David Arquette.
thank you. On the 25th, Evita.
Is that the Madonna one?
Yes.
We had to watch that in school.
Don't Cry for Me, Argentina in Spanish class.
Evita.
It's pretty good.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I just remember the music video for the song. Also Hamlet, the Kenneth Braga version. Also on the 25th, we have Michael with John Travolta. Remember that one? He's a angel.
I just referenced that one yesterday when I was talking to a friend.
Really?
Weird.
Well, there's that like GIF / meme of John Travolta like standing there. It's from Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought that was from the movie Michael.
Because he wears the same suit.
And then someone corrected me and let me know that was from Pulp Fiction. So.
That's hilarious. And the Billboard charts, December 1996. Number 1 for the whole month is Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. And for the 3rd week in December 1996, number 2, I Can Believe... Wow.
He's capable of believing he can fly.
We don't really talk about him.
And assault women
FYI,
and girls.
Just skip over him. Just keep going.
I Believe I Can Fly
by somebody who should not be named. Keep going.
Number
Voldemort.
3, No Diggity by Blackstreet. Number 4, Don't Let Go, Love by En Vogue. Number 7, It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion.
Oh, yes.
And now everyone's favorite.
Number 9, The Burping Song by Genuine. That's Pony. Number 11.
For those of you that don't understand that reference,
see, what is it? The first
previous episode somewhere where Brandon tries to sing.
Go back and watch episode or listen to episode.
Pony by Genuine.
Is it episode 3 of Namely 90s?
I don't think it's episode 3.
Just put it in after. Put it in post.
I want to say we started on 94, so I think it was like episode 3.
I think I was painting the shed when I listened to that episode. and I wasn't that far behind.
We referenced it recently in the last month or so.
Funny.
On the 11th, or nope, number 11, La Macarena by Los Del Rio.
Nice.
Number 12, Where Do You Go by No Mercy. Number 13, If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow. Number 15, I Love You Always Forever by Donna Lewis. And number 17, Fly Like an Eagle by CL.
That really takes me back. I feel like I'm listening to Star 101.5 with Kent and Allen in the morning. It's been too long.
Yeah. I mean, have you said that since we did the supercut for the 1 year anniversary?
I believe I said it once or twice. Yeah.
Okay. So now back to the show.
And now back to the show.
Yeah. Anywhere you want to go prior to Jingle All the Way? We have Mario Kart. We have also Tickle Me Elmo existed apparently. At this was the holiday Tickle Me Elmo came out.
It wasn't Tickle Me Elmo like the equivalent in real life of the Turbo Man doll, essentially?
Yes, but since it came out on the same year, it couldn't have been based on the Tickle Me Elmo. It was based off
but that was just the toy that just so happened to be the popular one that year.
Yep.
What were they called? The hot toys? What's it called? The hot toy of the year or something like that?
That sounds correct. Not having children and not having purchased toys for Christmas for myself in 2
Remember
decades.
the year the Zuzu pet was that toy? It was like this little motorized hamster that was really dumb.
Barely.
Andrew and I worked at Toys R Us.
People love that thing.
Zuzu hamster.
Pet. Also Mario Kart 64. We all think we're the best at Mario 64.
I suck at 64.
Oh,
I can admit that because I never played because we didn't have a 64.
Andrew and I had an argument while he was here.
Yeah, I was wrong. I would just like to announce I have fact checked and I was indeed wrong. I apologize.
So then we just ditched 64. You fell asleep and we played Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Well, and that was a previous time. Was that the same time?
Yeah, we played Mario Kart, and then
I thought this last time we played Mario Kart, and then we played Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah,
when you fell asleep.
Oh,
that's what she meant to say.
Correct.
Gotcha. Previous time, Andrew and Kayla were here. Kayla played Link's Awakening,
and then
bought herself a Switch. Good choice. All right, Tickle Me Elmo. Did Kayla have a Tickle Me Elmo? I know we were.
Hell no, I did not have a Tickle Me Elmo.
I guess you would have been roughly the same age as us, so you wouldn't have wanted one either.
Let's see, if I was 6. I'm trying to think of where I lived.
Poor Elmo.
What toys you're in, like
trying to tickle him without consent.
Was December 96 the year that we got slammed with snow?
It was 96 or 97. I don't remember.
What year was it that we got like 2 feet of snow?
I don't know.
If it was that year, I didn't get toys. We got inner tubes. And it was the best. And my parents blew them up and they were out in the living room when we woke up.
96, January 6th, 1990. That's Washington, D.C.
I think
I'll figure it out.
Means to say is
1996.
Yes.
Yeah, the big snowstorm.
Big snowstorm.
Yeah, so I got inner tubes that year. I can't remember anything else that happened that Christmas. So did not have a Tickle Me Elmo. I think my cousin Wyatt had a Tickle Me Elmo.
Your younger cousin Wyatt?
Hmm?
Did you tickle it?
I can't tell you. I don't remember.
So we brought you on to talk about Jingle All the Way. Let's talk about Jingle All the Way.
Oh, absolutely. I love the movie so much. It's actually the only thing I know Phil Hartman from.
What?
I mean, I know that he's from SNL.
Uh-huh.
And like I've watched the documentaries on him and stuff.
So the funny thing is, for whatever reason,
McClure, you may know me from such movies as
I don't know him by name, or I didn't. I realized, and then I was like, "Why is it so familiar?" And I looked him up, and I'm like, "Oh, he plays every character on The Simpsons, essentially."
He was also on News Radio with God, what was his name? News Radio, the one where they're a news radio station. Andy Dick was in it. The woman from ER was in
that's
it.
all I know him from. So I just know him as this sleazy guy.
Joe Rogan was in it.
He got murdered by his wife.
Yes, he did.
So sad.
He was a national treasure. He died around the same time Chris Farley did too. Which was
he's the one who died? Wait, who are we talking about?
Phil Hartman. His wife killed him.
He's dead. Yeah.
But how do they do the voice still on The Simpsons?
They don't.
Oh. When did he die?
97.
They got rid of that character. Wow, that's amazing. I feel like I remember the being killed thing.
Somebody Google this.
I think, so they definitely, they haven't used Troy McClure since. He's not every character on The Simpsons either.
True. He has a lot of characters, I guess.
And
or in the early seasons, yeah. He died
Jingle All the Way was like my first
98
Arnold Schwarzenegger movie too, I think.
May of 98. So
I was a kid. We definitely had it on VHS.
Decades. That was your first Arnold movie?
I think so.
Good.
And then I saw Twins.
Not a great
raspberry, that one.
I mean,
I love Twins. And then I think I was pretty old when I finally saw Terminator.
I definitely saw Terminator before I should have. And Terminator 2.
He was Kindergarten Cop, right?
Yes, I remember Kindergarten Cop. That was
a good one. It's not a tumor.
There's the one. What is it? There's Last Action Hero, which I don't. That's a terrible one. He's like,
I still need to see like Total Recall. I've never seen that. I'm not a huge.
What's the one with Danny DeVito? But then like someone's having a baby.
Oh God, we just referenced that like a month or two ago. It's not Twins, but it's Danny DeVito again. But I remember Schwarzenegger was also in, was it True Lies with Jamie Lee Curtis again?
Yeah, I remember that one.
And
so in Twins, Danny DeVito sings this song to Arnold Schwarzenegger and is talking about because Arnold has been a virgin living on this like laboratory island or something. And so Danny's singing to him, "Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro." And that's what my dad sang to me the morning of our wedding.
So, two things. The movie was called Junior with Emma Thompson, Danny DeVito, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing I like less than the combination of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Andrew's perturbed.
Not your father-in-law singing about.
Did you notice how I just drove right past that?
Yep, and I'm pulling to you.
Andrew gets very perturbed that Arnold has an accent in all of his movies and nobody addresses the fact that he's Austrian.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, if he was just Austrian and they were like, that was like his name was Hans or something, which seems Austrian.
Fine. But his name's Howard Langston.
Like in Jingle All the Way, yes.
He's the whitest, like most American dude ever, but he just has an accent for some reason.
He's also shaped like a boulder.
Yeah. Yeah, he's some sort of like paper salesman. Was that what he was? Like,
yeah, it seemed like
he was selling reams and pallets of paper.
And remember, you're my number one customer.
I just like to say, only a 90s movie can establish, like, in the first 5 minutes of a movie, can not only have a parody of like a popular TV show like Power Rangers in the beginning of their movie, while also establishing most of the major characters, the dynamics between them, and what's probably going to happen in the movie in the first 5 minutes.
And you always have to establish how the main character is a bad father. That's always required in the 90s movies.
Yes.
I did appreciate how this Christmas party was like off the chain. If you go back and you watch the Christmas party, there's like people dancing. They're going crazy.
Clearly,
and I'm like, I've never been. Apparently, we needed to go to 90s Christmas parties.
It was like 4:30 in the afternoon, and he was still working.
Was it 4:30 in the afternoon?
Like on a weekday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And still making calls.
And most people don't have the Christmas party the day before Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. And also, it's it's the Midwest, so their time shifted. Maybe he was calling people on the West Coast, but wouldn't everyone else not be at work either?
Yeah. The day before Christmas Eve, I'm just ordering like thousands of square feet of paper. You know, I just need like reams and reams of paper immediately before the new year.
Yes.
End of year deals, maybe clearance sale. I don't know.
It was the 90s. Paper was still a medium. the kid Jamie is obsessed with this Turbo Man thing. Yes.
Is that Anakin? Oh, I didn't know
it's
that.
Anakin.
Yeah, I was like,
Jake White.
Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd. Sorry. Paul White.
Jake Lloyd White.
Who's Paul White?
The giant Santa. That's
Andrew
bigger
Lloyd
than
Wright.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah,
Okay.
Paul White. He's a wrestler.
Andrew Lloyd
Gotcha.
Webber. Right. Got it.
That's not right.
I kept waiting for him to say, "Are you an angel?" or "I'm a person and my name is Anakin," because he had the same like attitude as
He did. He was kind of
He did
his
spell
dad was
quite
a
a bit.
jerk, but
Also, I was going to save this for later, but since we brought it up now, Jake Lloyd played a young Angelo in The Pretender in 6 episodes of the series.
yeah.
I don't know who Angelo is.
Yeah.
You need to watch The Pretender. You would
Hate
love
it.
The Pretender,
Hate it.
Brandon. You would love it.
I loved it. I watched it. I didn't. I
This
think I
just
watched them
seems
on
stupid.
reruns. But like I don't remember anything from it, and we'll get to that.
That's just what you say every time, Andrew. This is stupid. I hate it.
I don't hate it. I liked the show. I just don't remember
probably watch
anything
it.
about it. Well, you'll probably
Andrew
have to
makes me
watch it with
watch
him.
all of his shows.
It's just not on any platforms is the problem.
Mm.
And also he's Jimmy Sweet in 4 episodes of ER in 1996. I assume he was a
currently
sick
racking his brain.
child because Sweet.
This is thinking look.
That wasn't any of the.
It's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, 4 episodes. Made a run. 96. That's season 3. Anyway, now that Jake Lloyd's out of the way and his terrible acting, no offense, Jake Lloyd. I know you.
He plays the. There's a frequent flyer that of like a sex worker that comes into the ER a lot, and her son is Jimmy Sweet.
Okay, it scared me for a second there because I know ER likes to go dark. So Arnold Schwarzenegger basically is trying to buy his son's love.
And
yes,
but
why?
Have you ever tried to buy your kids
right.
love? Because that's sometimes the only way you can get them to show them.
I think
that
we
they
need
love
to talk about why he has to buy his kids love really quick.
So he was working late and he kept not listening to his secretary to leave on time for his kids. I'm assuming that was Taekwondo.
Karate.
It was karate.
That was karate.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize the belt sequence.
It was wrong. It was all wrong.
Also, it's the world's most ceremonious belt ceremony I've ever watched.
And why is it in a school gym?
And why are there so many people there? And why are they acting like this is the last belt ceremony anybody's ever
also, I don't think any martial arts has the blue belt before the yellow belt.
I was gonna say.
Agreed.
So yes, he misses his son's belt ceremony, which he promised he would be there for.
And he wasn't.
He also got pulled over by a cop that recurs throughout the movie. Because he was speeding to get there on time.
He was driving in the shoulder.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought he was just speeding.
No, he's driving in the shoulder.
I've got to go to my...
I was concerned, though. It's supposed to be in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Michigan, somewhere over there.
Minnesota, probably around Minneapolis. Because
in the winter,
yeah,
are they using motorcycle cops?
Are they able to drive on the shoulder since all the snow should be piled there?
Yeah. All of this seems.
And
incorrect.
finally, I thought it was Chicago for the first third of the movie, which every 90s show.
Phil Hartman's character gave it away, Ted, when he said, "I'm going to take them out to Lake Minnetonka." You're like, "Oh yeah, that seems like Chicago."
Everything was Chicago in the 90s. I just assumed it was Chicago.
It was after the first store I saw Minnesota flash on the screen when he's doing that.
And also
first,
it says Mall of America.
Well, that was later on.
It was about a third of the way into the movie, in fact.
Yes. Let's see. So he goes out Christmas Eve morning to get his son a Turbo Man doll because his wife had asked him to get one previously, and he chose to ignore her words. That's namely90s.com/YouTube to see Andrew's face as Kayla's not subtly directing this in any direction.
If you get yourself in hot water because you don't listen to your wife, it's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Your problem. It's not her problem. Also, I just want to say the mom is Rita Wilson, who's married to Tom Hanks, who's my celebrity crush. And Tom and Rita got married on the same day my parents got married.
Good to
April
know Rita
30th,
Wilson is your celebrity
1988.
crush.
No, not Rita. Tom.
I love Tom Hanks.
I do too.
He's my celebrity crush too.
They were like the first COVID celebrities.
They were. Yep. But they survived.
I love
It's
them.
a hoax. What?
And now we have the little banner under our Instagram ad with saying COVID information may not be accurate in this.
Please fact check before listening to this podcast.
Let's see.
Yes, so he has to go out and go shopping Christmas Eve to find this Turbo Man doll with the rocket pack.
I didn't write it
down.
Rocket
Sock'em
pack.
booster.
There's a boomerang. He has wrist fiery things.
Yeah, I get it mixed up with the Pajama Sam action figure with the Titanic elbow thrust.
My favorite thing is when they're standing outside the store. It's about to open at 9 a.m. And like Sinbad goes on this random tirade and then just like strangles a woman and then he just lets her go and it's fine. Like,
well, he says something to the extent of you shouldn't wear fur.
Still,
yes, you shouldn't wear fur.
Good PETA joke.
You guys have kind of hated on Sinbad previously.
Oh yeah, he was
a little bit. I
awful.
love him in this movie. I love him. Funny.
One of my first notes is who thought. I wrote but who thought letting Sinbad riff was a good idea?
Yeah.
My next question is why does Booster have a T on his chest? That's the sidekick dog.
Booster,
pink animal
or Turbo.
He's Turbo Man's simpleton sidekick, and then later on they call him Turbo Man's pet tiger, Booster. Booster's title gets worse and worse as the movie goes on.
The kids hate him at the end, and they're like beating him with their stuff.
Nobody likes you, Booster.
Well, it's funny. He's played by the guy that plays. I want to say it was Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, and he's also one of the guys from the Police Academy movies. And he's just randomly in it as the guy wearing the Booster outfit.
Gilbert Gottfried is him during the parade.
No, that's not Gilbert Gottfried. It's the guy that people confuse for Gilbert Gottfried.
Curtis Armstrong.
Thank you. But yeah, he has a similar voice, and he played Booger in Revenge of the Nerds, and I don't remember his name in Police Academy. But I know he's not Mahoney. Let's see. Chris Parnell is one of the two people that laugh in the face of Sinbad and Arnold.
So funny.
That part made me laugh. I mean, I don't like this movie, but that made me laugh. You gotta pause this and just starts laughing.
Yeah, and then he turns to his other associate on the floor and starts laughing as well.
The thing I noticed about this movie is like the way it's shot. Everyone's teeth look giant, or at least that scene. Like, was there like some sort of a fisheye lens or something? But everyone's teeth looked enormous.
No, you're right. Like I wrote that down right before the Sinbad riffing. I was like, who directed this movie? Because every shot like is zoomed in on their head and like from a terrible angle. It's like up your nose like direction. It is exactly as Kayla is demonstrating.
Turbo Man is only the hottest selling action item in this year.
Exactly.
Like, so annoying.
It's like they nostril slot. It's like they shot it like a TV show, so like no one else had to be on set when they're filming a single person's scene or lines in a scene. And it's just like so bad. I wonder how like quick production was for this. So Sinbad turns on Arnold and knocks him over and starts running to go get the lady who took the last Turbo Man doll. And it's like, what are they going to rob this woman?
Yeah.
Arnold steals an RC car that some kid is just playing with in the middle of a toy store while there's.
I just love it. I just love this toy store is pure pandemonium.
Yeah, and then there's just a kid sitting on the floor with an unboxed RC car with batteries.
Well, my other question is, why is it pandemonium? Like, the toy they want is and has been sold out for weeks.
They're all there to get last minute gifts for their children. They're not there for the Turbo Man.
I like how several times in this movie they make a joke of like bad crowds or like people being trampled, and it's like the dude that got trampled at the beginning would have probably died in real life.
Oh, the guy that wouldn't let them into the store?
Yeah. And then they're like pushing up against the barrier,
a foot mark
and it's
on
like,
his face.
oh great! Like a bunch of people just died.
Yeah,
from
well
that
then they all
again.
fall. Then they all fall on Sinbad at the mall, and he makes his reference.
We also forgot to mention that Phil Hartman's character has a reindeer to bring to his son. For some reason.
That his son names Ted after his dad.
Yeah.
So Ted gets a reindeer named Ted.
But I don't like that the whole time he's like creeping on Rita Wilson's character. It grosses me out.
That's the point of his character. He's like, yeah.
She's like the gal at the bell ceremony. You know, she's like, hey, can you come check out my pipes? Because you're such a handy man. And he's like, I think I have the tool for the job.
Yeah,
clearly, Rita just turns and looks.
A lot of innuendo.
Wow.
There was a lot of like single women at that belt tournament.
Oh,
like,
Ted.
I think the only married couple in this entire town is
the Langstons.
The Langstons. Thank you.
And Phil Hartman's character seems like a nice guy, but he has literally zero sex appeal. I think that's the other thing that's, you know what I mean?
the phone
pleated
call.
Khakis.
Oh yeah, the pleated khakis.
Yeah, but
yeah.
90s single parent. That's what was clearly it was written for someone else.
So my favorite part about Phil Hartman's character is after Howard Langston misses his son's karate ceremony, he comes home and Ted is hanging Christmas lights on his roof and like did all of his Christmas lights. And the joke is that I will end up putting Christmas lights on everybody's house in our neighborhood because I love to do it. I've already kind of started doing trees down the block. And I'm just like, yeah, I can relate to him in this instance, being on somebody else's roof. Ted, what the hell are you doing on my roof?
Sorry, neighbor. I just thought your house looked a little dim without Christmas lights on it.
Again,
also,
the day before
I might
Christmas
be able to
Eve.
see in your windows.
The day before Christmas Eve. Why bother at that point? I mean,
Would it be easier to see in your windows with the lights off?
Yeah, it would be.
Not that I've ever...
Cringy, Andrew.
Just saying.
Yeah, that was Andrew that said it, not Brandon.
Yes.
So there was a whole montage of Arnold trying to find Turbo Man, which
Turbo Man.
It's turbo time.
If you pay attention to the montage, it ends at like 2:00. So from 9 to 2, he's driving all across Minneapolis, I assume, to find a Turbo Man. He doesn't.
So he stops at a phone and calls his wife.
A payphone, yes.
A payphone. And who answers the phone but Ted?
And for our younger listeners out there, a payphone is back when cell phones weren't as prevalent. There were these boxes that had phones in them.
They also had a large, like, bound book underneath with everyone's phone number in them,
which they showed.
I don't even know how to use that
in the a phone book.
It's alphabetical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like by business. It's not alphabetical by name.
It's residential then business.
True.
Yeah, like business. Like you have to know what thing.
It is alphabetical by name.
It's alphabetical by name. Yeah. No, residential is also separated from the business.
A lot of businesses are like AAA towing or AA number 1, Chinese, because they want to be first in the phone book.
Yeah, but it's still like in the category. So if you want to call somebody, you have to know what category they're in before you can even start looking for their business name. You have to know what category.
But if you're trying to call just a residential person,
ophthalmologist, do you look in eyes? Do you look in ophthalmology? Do you look in doctor? Do you look in medicine? Do you look in health? There's too many options.
You just Google it now. Thank God.
There's an appendix of. Wow, I said appendix. Yeah, no, that's the right word.
Because you said doctor.
What year did Google come out?
Google got their copyright in 96, and it first started on the web in 97.
So before that, were we using Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves, Dogpile.
Dogpile, gross.
You don't remember Dogpile?
Go Jeeves it.
Ask
Don't you ask Jeeves, loser?
Yeah, go to an internet cafe on their 26K modem and or 28K modem and Google Ask Jeeves it.
So, but then don't they isn't this where he starts talking with Sinbad on the street again?
Mhm.
Yes.
And they're
then-
going to team up.
Here's the thing. Who's the random dude who's just like, there's Turbo Man dolls at this random place? Like, they weren't with him to begin with.
No, he was running to his person in the car, his
Yeah.
driver.
They
He was
clearly
like,
just
go,
left.
go, go. There's
they
a
just
small
left this-
shipment of them.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
he doesn't know these people. Why is he announcing it to them?
No, he
And
was yelling it
so
to the person in the car
Howard
that just had the
Langston-
door.
Okay.
Gets
Yeah.
in his car, backs up super fast, and runs over the motorcycle cop's motorcycle again.
Mm-hmm. There were no
You
backup
believe-
cameras in 1996.
Yeah, but I feel like in no circumstance should you like fling it into reverse and just literally stomp the accelerator pedal without looking. you
Well,
know?
He's in an SUV. He couldn't have seen the top of the motorcycle.
Yeah,
It was,
but
like,
again,
right
I
on
put
his
it in
ass.
reverse and like slowly release my foot from the brake.
Uh-huh.
I don't just put it into gear and just immediately like mash the gas pedal.
He's got to get the Turbo Man. I can't do it anymore. So yes, that was the hint. Was the Mall of America KB Toys? Was it had a Turbo Man? Which they then have a raffle for the Turbo Man doll, which required you to get a bouncy ball.
Yeah.
Which they just throw into the crowd with reckless abandon. And then we have a montage of Arnold chasing a ball around the Mall of America.
To the Nutcracker Suite.
It was the Russian dance from the Nutcracker, yes, with a sugar plum fairy, the waltz of the sugar plum fairy.
No. Not the Sugar Plum Fairy song.
No, when he was trying to get it from the girl, because it was the Russian dance up till that point, and then it was the dun 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 as he's trying to like get it from the girl who has shoved it in her mouth in the ball pit.
That's disgusting, by the way.
And then it goes back to Russian dance when
This might be why I have a problem with ball pits. And red plastic.
and cockpits.
And cockpit. Pits of any kind, really.
Do tell us about your ball pit phobia.
I just don't touch. Okay. There are certain things that I try not to touch.
Mm-hmm. Balls.
One of them would be, yes, just like extraneous balls.
Yeah. Just generally balls.
Balls.
This is why
And
your
I'm
kids
certainly
will
not
play
going to put
hockey.
a ball in my mouth. But yeah. So, ball pits. But then he goes, "Hey, little girl, look, it's a shiny red ball." And he like holds this ball.
Well, because the girl
I
is
don't
like,
touch-
yeah,
She just looks like the most 90s poster child I've ever seen.
yeah.
And
Fair.
I don't touch red plastic. And I think it might stem from this movie and the gross, like
That's
sucking on the
fascinating.
super ball. Yeah.
With a
Part
ball.
of it's because,
Well, it was a yellow ball that she.
but then he goes, "A shiny red ball" in his like Austrian
Shiny
accent.
red ball.
and that's just burned into your subconscious
Yeah.
now.
So this is an anecdote. When I was in middle school, PE, like our cross country practices, sometimes we had like training in one of the PE portables.
Mhm.
And one of them was the what's it called? The special education.
Special ed.
Yes, the special ed portable. And our coach said, "Don't touch anything because you don't know if it's going to have body fluids on it." And one of the things that they had were like those big exercise balls, like the big ones that you bounce on. And one of them was red. And it always had like this opaque schmutz on it. It was like, ugh!
Sanitary.
So don't touch red plastic. So like red
Sanitary.
plastic comes in like those handy pack snacks or whatever. They're like the
Yep.
stick that you're supposed to spread. Don't touch it. I don't touch it. I don't touch red plastic if I can help it. But I'm wondering if it all stems from this movie and just having like an aversion to that girl and the Super Ball that's been all over the place and she pops it in her mouth.
I don't know. It might be from the fluid stained red ball from high school.
It all just kind of goes together.
Well, the thing that drove, like when he was chasing the little girl, I was like, wow, this dude's such a pervert. And then at the end, they're like, pervert.
I'm not a
Yeah.
pervert.
Yeah,
I
with
just want a
purses and
Turbo
candy
Man
cane.
doll. Right?
I am not a pervert.
Yeah. So Jim Belushi shows up as a small Santa and takes him to a creepy factory where they're making knockoff Christmas toys. and charging an arm and a leg for it. Of course, it's Jim Belushi.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you like Jim? You don't like Jim Belushi? Is that right?
No. It's John Belushi was the good one. He's the one that died.
I was gonna say he's not the one that died. It's the other one.
Yeah, he's the one that My Wife and Kids, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he had a good role as.
Wait, My Wife and Kids, like the Wayans brothers. My Wife and Kids.
Oh no, what is it? It's the one.
According to Jim.
According to Jim, thank you.
With Jim Belushi.
Similar premise. Yeah. Same difference.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't. It wasn't the Wayans brothers. It was the Hughleys, wasn't it? No,
yeah.
That would be the Hughleys.
Do we need to go back to that? Because I feel like Kayla alluded to something in the mall scene.
Okay.
Where
yeah,
Sinbad gets trampled at the base of the
by all the people trying
escalator,
to get the Super Balls.
And he's like, Rodney King. And I'm like, that's not funny. Like, that's just, even if you're Sinbad delivering that joke, that is not funny.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because it's so outrageous that they made that joke.
Oh, I think it's less funny if you're Sinbad. Shout out to Sinbad when he comes on our show. So yes, that happened. Then Jim Belushi takes Arnold to the knockoff toy factory where all the Santas are doing naughty things and
they're like smoking and hanging out.
I just love that everybody that works there is in a North Pole costume.
Also, they went pretty hard on the little people in this movie. There were quite a few of them.
There were at least two, and one was knocked off of someone and flew all the way across the way on some sort of wire work into a wall.
Oh my goodness.
So stupid.
There are also candy cane nunchucks. And
I just like that his response that was just, shut up. He just hits it.
Hits with the candy cane.
And then there was also when Arnold pulls back the beard on Jim Belushi and lets go, it sends him flying head over heels 3 times into a pole.
It's so outrageous.
And then you said who was the large person?
Paul White. So then the massive Santa comes out and goes, I'm gonna duck your halls, bub. He snaps his suspenders. Paul White, he's like a wrestling star. It's hard. You have to be a giant person to make Arnold look small.
Yeah, Arnold looks small.
That's true. I wasn't a wrestling fan much.
Could have been a forced perspective thing, though. I don't know.
I don't know who that is. No, he was pretty big.
Listen, they're not forcing any perspectives in this movie because they film everything like this.
That's true.
Those teeth.
The police bust in. Arnold finds a cheesy way out by using a fake toy badge.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, when the SWAT team,
the sloppiest bust I've ever seen.
When the SWAT team comes in, busts a place, they don't bring billy clubs and whistles. I'm just saying, which is how they busted the place.
And at this point, I'm wondering how long is this day? Seeing as he left in the morning, and
I know
they're
it
still
never
going to a
ends.
parade. And it's
then there's a
the
parade.
winter. Yeah, it's winter. He goes to
he has to go to his car and he runs out of gas.
Yeah, because when he gets to the payphone, it's 2:00.
Yeah,
isn't it dark by 4:30?
Yeah, exactly. How late was the parade? And it breaks down on the bridge, so he has to not only walk it off the bridge, but he goes all the way to the diner without passing a gas station.
The diner.
Which
when they hear
on the
about
radio.
the radio station.
Yes. Yep.
This is how I learned the reindeer names. I only know the reindeer names from this movie.
What?
Yes.
I literally wrote down who doesn't know the bloody reindeer as a question.
I only knew it from this movie.
Let's ask Andrew. What are the 8 reindeer?
Ooh.
All right, Kayla's correct.
Hold on. Donner, Blitzen.
That's 2.
Cupid.
3.
Comet.
4.
Rudolph.
No. 8, not 9.
Did I say Dasher?
4 or 5. That's 5.
Isn't Dancer another one?
Didn't you say Dancer already?
Cupid.
It's not Cupid.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is.
He's not saying it in the right order, but he's saying it.
I don't know them all.
Okay.
You have to practice running. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Ha ha! And he like laughs. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen.
Prancer,
Dasher,
whatever.
Dancer.
It's stupid. They don't exist.
Okay.
But then he gets to a payphone finally and calls home again.
That was...
No, he tries to call into the radio station.
No. At what point he calls and talks to his son?
That was before
Remember?
he gets to that was before he gets into the diner and here's the radio. Which is why he goes into the diner and then is like commiserating with Sinbad, and Sinbad's like, yeah, my dad was a bad dad. He didn't give me the one toy I wanted for Christmas. And then he imagines
his son
as
dressed up as Sinbad's character,
drinking
out of his flask.
Yeah.
That wasn't a flask.
Like,
that was just a bottle. That was a bottle.
Just a bottle.
Yeah, of whiskey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The 90s.
Anyway, they hear about the promotion. They race or Sinbad pulls the cord out of the phone like an idiot.
Yeah.
They run to the station to get, because that's how
if they give the names of the reindeer, then the radio station is supposed to give them a Turbo Man doll.
Right. So they get there, which is not how phone and contests work, people.
You don't just arrive at the station.
You don't just arrive there. Yeah. I'm here. I did it.
He like breaks through the glass door.
He's like sweaty and out of breath. I did it. And the guy's like, there's a madman in my studio. Help!
Calls 911. Yeah. Sinbad comes in, says he has a bomb in his bag.
In his mailbag.
Yeah. And then the cops show up.
And it's our favorite cop, who Sinbad calls Barnaby Jones.
Yes.
And he's like, relax, Sparky. I bet on the bomb squad for 10 years.
And then the bomb blows up when he sniffs it.
And the bomb blows up.
Like,
just sick world we live in with sick people.
My favorite thing.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say with the amount of yield that bomb had, like they saw the light flash from the ground and the noise, like that should have killed that man and injured most of the officers.
I admit I fell asleep during this part, but I do remember it from last time I watched it. But I just love when your comments say things like, God, this acting is terrible with a comma, because I just want to know what else you were going to say. Because I agree with you.
Well, so I was looking into it, and like the guy, I was like, was he actually Barnaby Jones? So I went back and looked, and no, but he was on like a bunch of other. But
he kind of looks like him.
Yes, and he was also on a bunch of other police procedurals on and off for like the last.
I had to go look. I looked too. I was like, who is that?
Yeah. Let's see. Arnold gets the idea to steal the Turbo Man doll from the neighbor who's trying to doink his wife. And
ours has been nestled safely under our tree, is what he said.
And
I got one for Johnny weeks ago.
Ends up almost setting fire to the house.
I just want to say this neighbor is a smarmy prick.
Oh yeah. That's the whole point.
I just hate him so much. Nestled safely under our tree.
My name's Troy McClure.
Dude,
you might remember me from trying to steal your wife. And then it ends with Arnold decking the reindeer after getting scolded.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife goes with their kid to the parade with and Ted and his kid
in his Chrysler, I think it's wood panel Chrysler or Plymouth minivan. And
they just let the kids leave before they like park in like this giant
insane or
parade.
what?
That's insane. Even for the 90s. Even for the 90s.
Could not believe that
is insane. Because he wants some alone time with Rita Wilson. And he's like, you asked me how to marinate ahi tuna, and I said all you need is Italian salad dressing.
First of all, yuck.
And then he goes, do you want some non-alcoholic eggnog?
He's driving.
Gross. And he's got it in like one of those old-timey thermoses. And then he tries to make a move on her, and she hits him over the head with the thermos. Mm-hmm. My favorite part is the kid comes back later to him. It's like, Dad, you smell like barf.
Yeah.
That's why I say that, Andrew. It's from that.
I didn't know that.
Smell like barf.
Let's see. The police officer.
I don't smell like barf that often, just to be fair.
Well, yeah.
The police officer sees the police officer who should have died from that bomb explosion just has 2 burns on his hands that's been wrapped and treated at the hospital from in that small time period.
And his hair is no longer black.
Yeah, and he's back to work, and his face is no longer charred. And,
not burned. His hair is back to white.
Yeah. He's able to run after Arnold through a bunch of school buses. Yeah. So, and then
chasing him through the back tunnels behind the parade until he goes in through a door and becomes Turbo Man for the parade.
Yes.
But he has no idea.
Yes. Because they shoot it from his angle until he's like put on stage as Turbo Man. But, if I feel like literally anyone else would realize that he's in a Turbo Man outfit.
Yeah, probably.
And so, he gets on stage on the float, and he gets to give away a Turbo Man doll, and he gives it away to his son. Meanwhile, Myron has not only bombed police officers, he's assaulted a man and stolen the costume for, was it Dementor? Yes.
The villain of Turbo Man.
Not to be confused with Harry Potter.
Harry Potter days.
And then crashes the parade.
He's going to jail forever.
Right?
Forever for a stupid doll.
I get he's a mailman. Also, he's dropped all of his postal load today.
Worst delivery person ever on Christmas Eve.
Right. Also, if it's Christmas Eve, was it should they be working that day? I don't remember. Never mind. I was thinking it was the weekend.
At the parade.
Yes.
The female announcer plays a love interest of Michael Scott.
Oh, which
The Office.
Is it Pam's mom?
She plays the bar manager.
Really?
After Date Mike comes out.
Date Mike.
Nice to meet me. The bar manager that's going to come throw him out and then gets his number and stuff. That is the female parade announcer.
I didn't even recognize her.
I do have to say, to Brandon's point, that this movie does not send a good message at the end. No. You too can be a terrible father as long as you randomly become part of a parade and choose your own child out of self-interest instead of thousands of children in the crowd.
It's funny, as a kid I identified with the kid, and now I identify with the mom, and I'm like, what the
hell is he doing?
Yeah, what an asshole.
Yeah. Well, and how is Sinbad going to get the Turbo Man doll to his son if he's in jail because he finally gets arrested after getting his ass beat?
Also, the Turbo Man doll at the end, I know it's a special edition. So does that mean it's bigger? Because it's clearly bigger than every Turbo Man box ever depicted in the movie.
No, it's about the same size, isn't it?
I don't know.
They were big. Although he would have been the entire size of the box. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have a fight. Arnold wins, obviously. Jake Lloyd is replaced by a stunt person hanging there that's clearly twice the height of Jake Lloyd. As he's hanging, and Sinbad's also hanging. Arnold uses the jetpack to save his child.
Yeah, there's no way, without training, that jetpack is out of control. He would have been killed.
I mean, jetpacks don't exist.
Well,
in that manner.
But again, he would have been killed.
Right, the previous person to operate the suit. My final question for everyone is: do we dare watch the 2014 sequel, Jingle All the Way 2, starring Larry the Cable Guy?
That's a hard no.
I didn't even know that existed.
I didn't know it existed.
I
until
became
Hulu
aware of it
me.
today.
Yeah. But yeah, any final thoughts on the movie? The morals that we missed, Sinbad acting choices that should change our mind about him.
I just think the only thing this movie was lacking was Danny DeVito. Personally,
as the Penguin.
Yeah. Other than that, this is an excellent movie. No, I mean, it was less painful than I remembered, but I don't care for Arnold.
This is my favorite Christmas movie as a kid.
Mine was Home Alone.
Yeah, see, we saw it a few times, but like Jingle All the Way, we would watch year round. My sister and I loved Jingle All the Way. So good.
I mean, I remember liking it as a kid. I didn't enjoy watching it as much as I thought I would on this watch through. Yeah, because I remember liking it as a kid. It wasn't Phil Hartman's a treasure, but he's the only person trying in this movie. I mean, everyone's trying hard, I guess, but it's either a lot of overacting or a lot of underacting, and there's no middle ground except for Phil Hartman's character.
The thing about Arnold is he's not a very good actor. He's not very funny. Like, I just don't understand why he's popular. It doesn't make sense to me.
Because he was an action hero.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he was Turbo Man.
Because he's not a pervert. He just wanted a Turbo Man doll.
Isn't he a little bit of a pervert, though?
We find that out later after his star power kind of diminished after saying
only once he became a
out.
politician. Yeah.
I mean, I would say it was I would blame Batman and Robin, but yeah, teach their own. I guess that's it for this week's special Kayla filled semi-holiday edition. Of
the
Namely
pre-holiday
90s.
holiday edition.
Sorry, let me try that again. That's it for this week's Kayla edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday, but moreover, we are starting the 12 Days of Christmas specials tomorrow with a new episode every single day until New Year's Day with different podcast guests. We'll be talking about different episodes of 90s Christmas television episodes each day. It's fun. Come join us while you're doing your last minute shopping, while you're trying to figure out what to do between Christmas Day,
while you're hijacking parades.
Yeah, while you're trying to get onto the Macy's Day Parade to impress your child. I said Macy's Day. Anyway, thank you, Kayla, for coming on. Is there anything you want to promote while you're here?
No.
All right.
No.
Just have everybody have a safe and happy holidays.
Well, it's always a pleasure having you on. And as always, you can check out us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s90s, or find our personal accounts at bshwitty and at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with a 90s. And finally, you can also contact us through our website, Namely90s.com. That's a lie. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube.
And support on Patreon.
Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and that's Kayla.
Woo-hoo,
and we'll catch you
next time.